Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And, of course, on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m., you can watch the show in its entirety, a replay of the show. And, of course, many of you are watching it on your cell phones, iPads, and computers. And those are pretty much available. Approximately how many hours, Steve, after we do the show, they can watch it on that computer? I'm listening. I'm waiting on you. Do you hear me, Steve?
Usually, he's typing to you. Usually the same day.
Usually the same day, but how many hours? Day?
If not before. All right, usually the same day, if not before.
Okay.
You can watch us on the archive version.
That's right. Actually, sometimes it's on before it actually shows at broadcast.
Because we film it a day ahead of time.
So those of you that are anxious to watch the Bobby Dupre Show, you can get a sneak preview the night before.
Well, that's right.
Well, good, on your computer or your iPad or your cell phone.
It's a good reason to visit the website and watch some of the other shows too.
Sorry we acting like this, but we're not really acting.
It's natural.
I had never asked that question before, but and people ask me, when can we watch it? So, good. And my sidekick here, Andrew.
Well, good morning. How are you?
We are having a good time. We're not in a big hurry to do the program because we're a day early in taping. Normally, the program is taped on Wednesday morning. We like to say we start at 9 and then we start taping around 10, finish around 10, 11:30, something like that. Today, because Andrew...
I got a meeting.
A meeting.
Business meeting.
Business meeting. and you happen to be taking the family.
That's correct.
And, you know, not often that business people don't bring their wives and the family. And
that's right.
You're doing that. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. No, you're always nice to your family.
My wife's nice, too. She makes good money, too, so I can let her pay a lot of the expenses on the project as well. We can both share in the expense.
No, I see.
It works out well.
Sabrina, she
got home
watch
money.
That. Oh, yeah, okay.
You know how that works.
Yeah. But getting it out of her pocket is not that easy.
She's tight like this while we get along. We both tight.
Well, good. We like to have fun because our pay has been the same. We have not gotten a raise. I've been now this is my 38th, I'm working on my 38th year on radio and television. Now it's just television, but started the radio portion 38 years ago, KSLO 1230 AM on your dial, and I would talk to Mr. Rene Fontenot every Monday and every Friday. Back in those days, I did it 30 minutes on Monday and 30 minutes on Friday. Now we do it all in 1 hour.
And that's the only job Rene ever had? Rene was with KSLO when he came out of school. I heard someone make that comment.
As a kid, he would do some DJing, but they also played music at the Blue Room that Mr. Felix Desarches had, Desarches Feed Store. Right. And Adelaide Desarches. No, that was her friend Adelaide. What was Ms. Desarches' name? God, well as I know it. Anyhow, that's kind of where I got the idea of the Bobby Dupre Show. It was very popular. People would listen to it. That you almost had to back in his days because there was no television.
There was no competition. That was the show.
But I started it just to bring good news. And after 38 years, I'm still doing just good news. People, what's the show about? You know, when I I meet them, I take a picture, and I want to talk about them. They say, well, they're kind of worried, like they don't want to be on a Rush guy show, controversy. No, I said it's just good news. We have never run out of good news on the Bobby Dupre Show.
We never have to where advertisers don't start calling and say you got to pull us because you said some stuff that we just can't go with.
And we don't have to have an attorney on our right side and a bodyguard backing us up on our backside. And I bring this out occasionally because this is unusual. The good news programs, people tell me if what you tell me is correct, you know, out of state, out of country, like the people we're going to show, the couple from France, they almost can't believe that we have 30 minutes, I mean an hour, a program of just good things.
The longest 30 minutes in television.
Yeah, that's how we first got started. But let's get a couple of our good sponsors here.
I'm sure I can handle that. Let's start right out the gate with, how about JB Sandals? You know, right now you're doing stuff in your yard, you're doing stuff around the house, fixing things.
Grass is really growing.
The grass is growing at my house. I got to hurry up and knock that down this afternoon, as a matter of fact. You can go in there and get all your lawn care type stuff, from everything from your shovels to your lawnmower equipment to you get your blade sharpened at JB Sandals. They've got all your houseware stuff that you need after you get finished cutting the grass. You can get the pots and pans to cook in, the good fine china too if you want. You know, good wedding gifts and all right there, JB Sandals.
That I like
the old smoky, they got those nice old smokies in various sizes.
3
you need
sizes.
The little one or the great big one. Get all that nice and easy. Do your cooking, put the lid on it, cut the oxygen to it. It'll keep the coals. You can use the coals again next time you cook. Right there, JB Sandals. Boy, it's clever. You know, you can do all that.
Whoa.
JB Sandals here in Opelousas.
135 years of history.
That's been a little while. And how about Targill? If you're looking for some seasoning, Targill is famous for seasoning for your store. If you're a caterer, if you're a restaurant, if you're just a person that sits around, does some cooking in the outdoor kitchen or around the house.
If you're an OPAC Financial Services, David Link purchased it, and the customers get it as they go in to make their new loans and renew their loans and make their payments.
That's right, as a giveaway to promote your business. Maybe you want to sell it as well. They do that and all. They do all the different artwork for you and all of that.
Good advertising, because when you walk into the kitchen, that type of seasoning has a habit of staying on the counter somewhere else.
Correct.
And everybody that goes to your house sees it.
And don't forget about it for kitchen supplies, cutlery, butcher supplies, all that type of thing, all there at Targill.
And if you're having any problems over there, ask for Ted Bellard, the man. And you have a picture of a racehorse there.
Yes.
I'm in Harlan, and it's not a clear picture, but it does show I'm in Harlan winning the race.
On the grass.
On the grass, a turf race, and set a new track record.
No kidding.
That's correct. Set a new track record, and that occurred last Thursday night. I kidded Mr. Joe Rink, who heads up I'm in Racing Stables. He's out of New Orleans, Metairie area, but he owns a home across from the old Doctor's Hospital, OGH South. Across there's a pig in a concrete pig in the front yard there that's easy to spot. So he is port here and port over there. Great guy. And I asked him, I said, why is it kind of, well, he says, I just did this in a hurry. His person who does this for him at his office is on vacation. Right. So we are really happy. We just want to thank Evangeline Downs for everything they do for our community. These races, these purses with the casino, I know that they do well also, and that's good. Everybody's supposed to do well. The purses are quite sufficient in most cases, and we're hoping that more people can go to the casino, because a portion goes directly to the horsemen.
Back to the horses.
And it can help our local trainers and owners, and it helps bring in better horses for the people who like to play the horses, gamble on the horse racing.
And with the track record stands because all those horses are tested after the race to make sure that you're not juicing them, as they used to say in the old days. The horses are clean and they're tested, and they're
talking about that baseball.
Some of the baseball have been some problems.
Oh boy, I'm telling you, we're not going to get into that, because but that's not bad news. It's just
it's good news. They're cleaning it up. How's that?
That's right.
Good news.
That's the good news. It's making the game fairer. They finding out that some of the records that they set, some of these guys set when they checked they had to go to the spit box. They didn't pass the test. And, you know, anyhow, that's a good way to look at it. There is a good...
Oh, it's a very positive thing, and that everybody's going to get the equal playing field now. That's good.
On ESPN Sports News last night, one of there were a panel of 3 of them. They're usually 3 or 4 up there, and they're very knowledgeable, and they were talking, and one of them pointed that out. Well, let's not just talk about these 12 or 13 individuals that are being suspended right now. Let's look at it as being fair to all the rest of the industry.
Same thing with the horses. If it was an arms race between who could buy the biggest chemists to juice the horses, you'd never win. But here's a bunch of little local guys in Louisiana take good care of the horse, train the horse. You see the good breeding in the horse, and the horse wins. I mean, that makes it fair.
You know, talking about chemists, that was some sharp chemist that found that frog juice over in South America.
They call it that thing, that it's a natural chemical, but that helps excite they were using for horses, what they were doing, and people. It wasn't just horses. It would help excite them to make them run faster.
So, man, it could make me move.
You need some frog juice.
I need a little frog juice.
I think you're all right. You better skip that frog juice.
I want to thank a couple of people here, and I was supposed to do this last week. Dirk Boudreau and his family, his mother and family, brought a copy of La Acadienne. That was the yearbook that was published back in those days. I'm sure it's another name today, and maybe not, but because that is a good name for the college in Lafayette. SLI is what I attended. Then it changed to USL, and that might have been the year after I graduated. And then, of course, now it's UL at Lafayette. Right. And Dirk and his mother knew that I had attended, and they were going through the book. His dad, it was his dad that had gotten the book, had attended UL, and saw my picture and kidded me, so they gave it to me. So I want to thank them very, very much. That was my freshman picture in it's the edition of 1956. And I guess that's why they show me. I tell everybody I graduated. I know I finished school in '59, but it shows that I finished in 1960.
They figured 4 years from there.
Yeah, so I guess that's the way.
You were ahead of schedule.
I started in 1955 when I graduated, those 3 months at the end of the year, and then, but the year ended in 1956, and I guess that's why I didn't bring the book. It's a big old thick book, and saw a lot of interesting pictures of friends that I knew back in those days, and most of them are still here, and some of them are not with us anymore. But anyhow, and then the retreat group that's coming out, the second Opelousas group is leaving tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, for a weekend over at the Grand Coteau Retreat House. And Jim Lopez is the captain of this group and does a fantastic job of recruiting. And
one of the highest attended groups.
It is the highest, I think, each year for the last few years that you and I have been heavily involved over there, especially you. But anyhow, we hope that they have a good weekend. They better bring their shorts because it's going to be a little warm, little short sleeves.
We're lucky with our group. If you want to come in the springtime and you like it cool,
first weekend of March, very easy to remember. You can go to your calendar right now and mark it.
Call me and I'll put your name on that list. And we're going to take a 1-minute break on the television here. We'll see you folks on the other side of 1 minute.